Well, hey there folks, and welcome back once again to the Hop House. It's Eddie here. It's time for another beer review. We're back, baby! Yeah! So, basically I haven't put up any new content for a good sort of 2-3 weeks. I've been off the sauce, and I was training up to do the Liverpool Rock and Roll Half Marathon, which I completed last Sunday. It was hard, not going to lie, and I struggled, especially the last couple of miles. In all fairness, it was my own fault at the end of the day. I hadn't properly trained over a significant period of time, put about 4 or 5 weeks in. Realistically, you need to double that, and that's just for a half marathon, so about 8 to 10 weeks. So I managed to get the distance up to about 10 miles. Of course, a half marathon is 13.1, so come mile 11, my legs would just tell me to piss off, and they didn't want to know. Initially, I set out as a time for 2.5 hours, then, common sense prevailed, and I thought, well, as long as I get it under like 2 hours 45, 2 hours 50. I did 2 hours 42, so I did do a bit better than that, but not the 2.5. But now we're back, we're here for some more beer reviews. If you just found us here on YouTube and you see my ugly mug, go and do us a favour, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, share and subscribe, and just help out the channel. Tell your mates if they're into the real ales and craft beer and all that stuff, hoppy IPAs and stuff, then give us a like, because that's kind of what I do. Mainly supermarket beers so that I can get it and you can too. Right, should we crack on with our set of reviews for today? Okay, so we're going to go back and look at some more quintessential British ales. So these are more your real ales, your 4 for £6 in your big supermarkets, your Asda, your Marston, your Tesco. Sainsbury's, I don't think they do 4 for £6. In fact, Asda don't anymore, they do 4 for the price of 3. But it can work out £6 if you buy 4 beers at £2 each. Get it? Get it? Good. Right, so these beers are aimed at anyone, if you've got like friends or family members that come into the UK maybe for the first time, friends that live abroad or whatever, and they say, well, I really want to try your beer, what do you recommend? Or what's sort of easy to get hold of? And this is sort of what those beers are about. So we've done things like Marston's Pedigree, we've done Timothy Taylor's Landlord, Black Sheep Bitter. We've done quite a lot of quintessential sort of British ales. And we're going to do a few more today, so we're going to carry that on. Right, beer numero uno. It is from a big brewery. It is Marston's. And it is their entry-level beer, if you like. And it's cheap as chips. It's £1 a bottle. I got this at Asda. I was going to say Morrison's then. I got it at Asda for £1. It's also available Morrison's for £1. My Asda's terrible for craft beer, but the bottle real ale bit is pretty good. Right, I'll show you what it is. I'm sure there's loads of people out there that have drunk this. Probably loads of people out there that are not that keen on this. But as an entry-level beer, it is what it is, right? It is Marston's EPA. It's English Pale Ale. 3.6% on the ABV. 3.6%. There is the label. It changed in the last few years as Marston's has revamped all of their labels. Now, this is 3.6%, so it's sessionable strength, so your best bittery sort of strength. Now, what I'm going to say is, if you go way back to the beginning of the channel, we did Green King's IPA, which was also 3.6%. Wasn't a bad tasting beer, but it was never an IPA. Now, if they'd have put Green King EPA, or if there's some sort of trademark with those 3 letters, maybe Green King TPA for traditional pale ale, 3.6%, it'd have been great. But yeah, this is their EPA. Again, it does state what it says at the top. There's a Marston's crown there, Marston's logo, look, on the crown of the bottle. It does say what's with the 3 barrels. Burton, the town, it is Marston's. The Burton Union, our unique brewing system, and D14, Innovation Brewery, brewing the future. That's also at the top of the Old Empire IPA. I think it's at the top of Pedigree as well. It seems to be on the top of all their bottles. I've not had anything D14. That is their like miniature brew kit, and that's supposed to be sort of their more craft range. But you don't hear a lot. They did do a few bottles, and then they sort of stopped. Maybe, COVID, pandemic and what have you. It's got the Marston's logo again around the bottle there at the top, and the bottom it says, "From Burton with love." Should we get it out into the glass? My God, I'm 5 minutes in and I haven't even got it out into a glass yet. I'm going to use the Purity glass because I just love this glass, but we know it doesn't hold head well. Ooh, bit of CO2 release on the opening. Right, your beer in the glass. It's very light golden, almost like a blonde ale. At the end of the day, it's 3.6%, so it's not going to be anything that's going to blow you away. Looks white. It's very clear, clarity. It has been fined and had finings through it, filtered and all that stuff. Some good levels of carbonation going up the glass there. That's your beer in the glass. Looks like a sort of blonde session ale, as you'd probably expect for a 3.6%er. Don't look bad. It looks all right. I've seen worse looking beers that are even weaker. So, should we go and get that into there? So, if you're new to the video, we'll pour it out, see how it looks. That's how she looks. We're now going to go for the aroma. We're going to put the nose in. We're going to give it a whiff, see what we can sniff. Lemon and lime. Quite a bit of lemon and lime in that. Lemon and lime, and then that earthy sort of peaty smell that you do tend to get from like a golden ale, the British hops. So yeah, twiggy, grassy, weedy, bushy kind of smell. Brambly. I know that sounds really weird if you're new to beer, but that's sort of what British hops do tend to give you. I can smell a little bit of the malt as well, sort of a biscuity, bready malt through the middle. And a tiny, tiny little bit of that butterscotch smell that you tend to get with Marston's beers. I've had it on a few Marston's beers. It doesn't smell bad. The head's disappeared quickly, as it does tend to do in this glass. It hasn't got a widget thing at the bottom of it, so I don't think it holds head particularly well. And the amount of times I've used it and washed it, if it was one there, probably got rid of it anyway. I really like the lemon and limey sort of. It smells a bit lager and lime, but it's not as crisp as a lager. Like a lager can be really crisp and bitey. Well, not bitey, but crisp, sharp. This doesn't have that. It has more the grassy sort of twiggy undertones to it as well. Right, we're going to give it a try. So bottoms up, down the hatch. .6% beer. That's pleasant. Cheers. Oh, there is a bit of carbonation that pushes the beer around your mouth. So it sort of fizzes on the tongue slightly. Definitely got that lemon and lime profile going down the side. It's quite lager and limey. It's really refreshing. Like really refreshing. It's a 3.6% session beer. It's really refreshing. Then at the back end, you get that British bitter, hoppy bitterness come through. Excuse me, like I said, it is a bit fizzy. It's almost lagerish how fizzy that is. Maybe it's because it's in a bottle, and it's obviously not bottle conditioned. It's not like pedigree that's bottle conditioned. Apologies if you hear any noise. It's rather breezy out at the moment. Gale's here. Gale Platt. Yeah, it's that initial, when it goes in your mouth, it's initially quite fizzy, but I think it's to help release the flavour. I think there's another beer review that says that in other words. That's quite comical. Right, bit of lace division for those that love the lacing. Do you know what? For a 3.6% beer, at £1 a bottle, that laces rather nice, and we're just reactivating the head. Chase the bottom. Yeah, it's not bad. It's all right. You know, there's worse beers I've had for more money. Put it that way. There are people out there that don't like your Marston, especially now they've been taken over by Carlsberg. So the Carlsberg Marston's Brewing Company. Ooh. Definitely now getting more of that sort of hedgerow, brambly, bush, twiggy smell. And a little bit, the butterscotch element's gone, and there's a bit of the pepper spiciness that you do get with British hops. So is there a Fuggles in it? Is there a Styrian Golding, something like that? It's really refreshing. For 3.6% beer, a pound a bottle, you can do a lot worse. A lot worse. Right, let's read what it says on the back because we've got a bit of a description. So it says EPA stands for English Pale Ale, and the Stilt Walker on the label is an original hop picker. In this case, Cascade and Styrian hops. They give it the subtle citrus flavours and delicate bitter aftertaste. It's an easy drinking, refreshing light golden ale which appeal to ale and lager drinkers and the occasional Stilt Walker. So that's where the lemon and lime's coming from. So it has got American hops in it. Is it a dumbed down version of, say, the Old Empire, which again does have Cascade in it? It doesn't have as much flavour profile as that. It's not as bittersweet as that. This is more refreshing. Very nice. I've had it on cask as well. You only usually get it on cask at Marston's pubs. Can't remember the name of the pub. Somewhere down Ambridge, I think. And it's like an eating place. But they had this on cask, and I thought, oh, I'll have a pint of it. I don't think they had much of it. This or Doombar or something else. No, it wouldn't have been Doombar if it was a Marston's beer. It was that or Wainwright. And I've had Wainwright loads of times. So I thought, oh, I'll try the EPA. I don't think I've ever had it on cask. And it was lovely. But that was like probably about 4 or 5 years ago. And I've had it in a bottle again years ago, but not recently. I'm happy to say that's really nice. That's really refreshing. Even though it's only 3.6%, I'm really getting the peppery bitterness on the back end now. It's really coming through. That's really good. That is an example of a big macro brewer brewing something at a price point that's quite easily acceptable. I could drink a lot of that. I really could. Even though initially I probably drink more of it on cask than I would in a bottle, because initially it did come through as quite gassy. I think the gassiness has now subsided a bit. Maybe my stomach's got used to it. I'm not sure. But in terms of the flavour profile, for a 3.6% beer, you're getting that lemon and lime down the side of your tongue, and then the traditional bitterness comes in at the back end really nicely. Oh, it's really quite, maybe it's because it's the first beer I've had in a few weeks, I don't know. But it is really, really refreshing. Right, rating wise, again, if you're new to the channel, if I like a beer, if I'm going to buy it again, I like it, I'll give it a thumbs up. If I don't like it, give it a thumbs down. Thumb in the middle is like, yeah, I'll drink it again if someone bought it for me. And anything above, if I give it 2 thumbs up, like, wow, I'm going to go get somewhere, can I get it? And then if I do something daft like 2 thumbs up and a foot, I think maybe 1 or 2 beers have got 2 thumbs up, 2 feet. Not physically, because look at me. I'm not really a gymnast, am I? But metaphorically. So what I'm going to do with this beer is it's definitely got a thumbs up. I quite like that. I'm quite impressed with that, so I'm going to give it a 1.5 thumbs. I think that's decent. And for it's £1. It's £1 a bottle. So yes, mass-produced companies, yes, macro breweries can produce mass-produced beers that are of decent quality, and they can do it at a pretty damn good price. So for £1 a bottle, 1.5 thumbs all day long. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you again on another beer review right here on the Hop House. Ciao for now, people.